what Fred Goldman had to say, what the Simpson sisters had to say. Put that in context for us.
Boy, I'll tell you this, the city of Los Angeles is really on fire because of all of this, and I think that the judge has to be very careful that whatever he does, he doesn't let it seep into the jury room. I'm sure he's going to think twice about allowing conjugal visits because the kinds of things that are being said are very inflammatory.
Laurie, deliberations are to start formally on Monday. How long do you think those deliberations will take, and what do you think the outcome will be?
Well, Dan, it all depends whether these jurors have already made up their minds. If they have not, they have a lot of evidence to wade through, at least a couple weeks worth. And Judge Ito has said to them, we're going to get it all ready for you, but you have to decide how you're going to approach this, quote, mountain of evidence.
And your bet is how it ends?
I don't know how it ends. Nobody knows how this case will end. I think these jurors really want to reach a result, but whether they can or not, whether they're going to be hung like so many people have said, we'll have to wait and see.
Jerry?
I don't know. If it's a quick verdict, I think it's a defendant's verdict. But if it goes on longer, I think we're looking at a hung jury.
And your bet is how it turns out?
I think we're looking at a hung jury.
Jerry and Laurie, thank you very much. One measure of this trial's importance, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department says it plans a, quote, tactical alert when a Simpson verdict is imminent. The Los Angeles police say they are also prepared. But as Phil Jones reports, to some members of the LAPD, one verdict is already in.
31, Jasper, Barnes, 57, Willie, sir.
We've been beat up, abused, misused, maligned.
Vandalism with racial overtones of Van Nuys.
The vast majority, 99.75% of the people are honest, hard-working men and women.
Hey, be careful out there, let's go to work.
But through it all, the men and women of this department have really come through to do the job that I've asked them to do the job that the public's asked them to do under some very, very difficult circumstances that I don't think any other police agency in America has ever had to endure and survive.
From Chief Willie Williams down through the ranks.
Do you have any paper?
We don't need a warrant to come in the garage. We got a radio call.
The attitude is that regardless of what the jury decides on O.J. Simpson,
Lincoln, Charles.
the cops on the Los Angeles police force have already been found guilty in the court of public opinion.
I just feel disillusioned with the LAPD. I used to think that I could trust the police department, and now I don't know what to think. It's just, I don't know. My faith in them is shattered.
318, go ahead.
And why this mistrust? The chief blames Simpson's defense lawyers.
This is a blockbuster. This is a bombshell. This is perhaps the biggest thing that's happened in any case in this country in this decade.
When the Furman tapes came up, all of a sudden, for a week, people forgot that Mr. Simpson was on trial. It was as if the garbage and the vile that you heard come out of Mark Furman's mouth was representative of the LAPD, which it isn't. The defense team played the race card.
Person as a nigger or
they played it very well.
But you know, Chief, a lot of African Americans say, Mark Furman is just typical. And what do you say to that?
Neither I nor no one else disputes the fact that there is racism in our departments. But what I will say, based on my knowledge of 3.5 years here in Los Angeles, that Mark Furman is not typical of the average Los Angeles police officer.
This is South Central Los Angeles. A lot of drug activity, narcotic activity.
Sergeant Linda Thompson.
The attitude of some of the citizens have changed.
You've all been tainted by this?
Yes, of course. Yes. All the officers. They're embarrassed, as I am embarrassed. But we have such good officers, and they're really trying hard, and you know, they need a pat on the back every now and then.
When you've heard the defense in this case talk about rush to judgment, code of silence, conspiracy, all connected to the LAPD, what were you thinking?
It hurts us that the patrol officers, the detectives, the laboratory people, the traffic officers, and the other officers from 7 different areas all came together at the same time, knew Mr. Simpson was out of town and conspired to frame O.J. Simpson, and we got 30 or 40 or 50 people to agree to carry it out. That's unbelievable. That couldn't have occurred, and it did not occur.
The LAPD never lost the scars from the Rodney King beating incident in 1991. Then came the riots, and now the fallout from the Simpson trial.
You guys own this car?
Yeah. The negative stuff that comes out, that's negative stuff. It has to be looked at. We have to take the good with the bad.
Yet when you talk to the officers out on the streets, you find a code of pride that can't be publicly shaken. Sergeant Morris Batts.
After everything is said and done, we will be a better department for the things we've gone through over the last few years.
Officer Jeff Alley.
There's an existence of probably three groups. Those that love the police, no matter what. The police can do no wrong. Those that hate the police, no matter what. The police can do no right. And those that are just undecided. And the undecided ones are the ones that we need to win over.
Does the verdict make any difference as far as the impact, long-lasting impact on the LAPD?
We're intertwined with that verdict. And we're never going to be separated. Whatever the verdict is, whether it's acquittal, whether it's a conviction or it's a hung jury, we're going to have to sit down and live with the aftermath, because this has become a trial of the Los Angeles Police Department and not a trial of Mr. Simpson.
How you doing? Good. Not good? Well, get better. So they keep telling me.
I think Americans are captivated by this story because it has all of the elements that we are bombarded with in American society. It has the fame, it has the money, and it has sex. I think it is like watching a Greek tragedy in the olden days, like with, you know, when they had all of these fights and people were watching, and it does something to the human spirit. First of all, it says, thank God, I'm not in this position. That's how you identify.
On the program tonight, a nice close look at Uma Thurman's ears.
Plus Stephen Weber.
Hey, calm down, please.
Brian Wilson, and our trial of the century.
Have you reached a verdict?
Hey, man.
Hey. I'm making some grilled cheese sandwiches. You want one?
Sure. Dear Alfred.
Alfred?
Here are a couple things to make living on your own a little easier. Love, Mom.
Cool. Yikes.
Hey, check this out.
Nothing turns a sandwich into a satisfying meal like rich, wholesome Campbell's tomato soup. So you know your family's eating right, even when you can't be there to cook for them.
There's nothing like a home-cooked meal.
You said it, Alfred.
Denture wearers don't let anything keep you from getting close, especially denture odor. Get Polident. It's loaded with minty mouthwash ingredient. It controls denture odor and cleans tough stains in just 5 minutes. Get Polident fresh and granddaughter close.
Minor arthritis pain. Ever wish you could go back in time to before you had arthritis? Try Capzasin-P with a topical analgesic ingredient doctors recommend most for arthritis pain, and feel almost like you've gone back in time. Capzasin-P.
At its heart, the Simpson trial is tragedy. The tragedy of 2 lives cut brutally short. Now comes the final act. We've heard from the lawyers, familiar faces and voices to us all now. But the spectators in this drama are about to become the players. The jury will attempt to render a verdict. The lawyers have spoken with eloquence and power, but it is the jury, 12 people whose faces we do not know, whose voices we have not heard, who will have the last word. I'm Dan Rather, and that's 48 Hours. Coming up next, your late local news. Right now, a look ahead to our next report.
I can't wait for him to come.
I want to be right there in front.
Get ready.
And we're figuring maybe 25, 30,000 shirts.
Get set.
This man, he just means so much.
He's really a role model for everybody.
I just want to meet him.
This fall's hottest ticket.
You can't get them.
Is almost here.
He's coming to New Jersey.
Next week.
For a transcript of this program, send $6 to 48 Hours Transcripts, Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039. And to order a VHS cassette of tonight's broadcast, call 1-800-338-4848.